Hello and welcome to the top 5 best working glitches, farms and exploits inside of Elden Ring. So without further ado, if you want to level up fast in Elden Ring, this video will definitely help you out. So let's just get into this video. Enjoy. Alright, so for our first farm in the video, make your way toward the War Dead Catacombs. Do note, before heading toward this spot, you will have to defeat Radon. Now, I definitely recommend this for a mid to late game farm, as Radon is a pretty tough boss to defeat, so come back to this when you're later on in your game. But with that, you're going to make your way down these stairs and you will see an arena in front of us. When you do get here for the first time, crouch, as if you do aggro any of these enemies, it may stuff up the method. So you're gonna go ahead and go crouch, and we're gonna go just down this staircase and aggro this enemy type. Once we've done that, we are simply going to wait right here, or if you want, you can wait at the entrance of this area, but simply wait in any spot. And with that, all the enemies will go ahead and fight each other, and we're gonna gain the runes when they eventually die. So basically just chill here and we're gonna wait until the enemies kill each other. Now this is an AFK method. I definitely recommend you are checking on this every 15 minutes, as you may come across a bug where the enemies will come toward you, or you may need to grace as the enemies will all die. But basically you're gonna wait here, and as you can see, you will gain runes as time goes on. We just gained 6,000 runes. We are now in 40,000. And again, just wait here and let the enemies fight each other, and we're just gonna gain all runes from these enemies. Alright, so that is pretty much it for our first method, and let's move on to method number 2. Alright, so to grab the Shibiri's Woe, make your way toward the Church of Inhibition. This can be located just a little bit up Lernia, just in this area right here. So we're going to make our way here, and once done, exit the church, and we're gonna go ahead and make our way toward this village side over here. So let's go down, and once we get there, we should see... By the way, avoid this eye because it can really do damage if you're not careful, but just avoid that eye. And anyways, what was I saying? When you get toward this village, there will be an item that should be on this person right. I believe it's right here. So this person right here will contain the item you need. You are going to have to go ahead and defeat these guys first, but with that, you can grab the item and you can move on with the exploit. Once you have grabbed this item, also have the Mimic tier Ash. I do recommend having this max tier, but if it's level 8 or higher, it should be good for boss fights. But with that, come to any boss fight you want, and what we are going to do is we're going to enter the boss. And with the Shibiri's Woe in our inventory, we're going to, as soon as we enter the boss, use our Mimic tier. So we're going to use the Mimic tier, and with that we're going to unequip the Shibiri's Woe. And now we're going to go ahead and get our Mimic to fight the boss, and with that, if we just go in an area where we won't get hit, right here, the giant will just go for the Mimic. So right now, if you want to get through a boss fight that you can't get through, all you need to do is simply get a Mimic tier and also have the Shibiri's Woe and unequip the Shibiri's Woe when you go into the battle. The reason why this works is that with the Shibiri's Woe, all enemies go for you. Right now, our Mimic has the Shibiri's Woe, however, we don't, because we unequipped it as we equipped our Mimic. So basically, we can go ahead and relax and let our Mimic do the full boss. Now, this won't work for all bosses, as some bosses can fly and do some really hard attacks. However, if it's a simple boss like this one, you can go ahead and use the Shibiri's Woe and let your Mimic defeat the boss. You can go ahead, relax, and let the Mimic do its job. And with that, we've just gone through a boss without actually needing to fight it. Thank you, Mimic. I appreciate it, buddy. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our third method. This will be located at the mountaintops of the giants. Now come here, this can be located this can be found later on in your game, so you won't get here straight away, but eventually when you do make your way here, come toward the foot of the forge. And when you do get here, you're going to grace in this spot right here. So rest at this grace, and you're going to simply walk toward this creature right here. So jump up, walk a little bit forward, and you will notice that a big hand will fall on the bird. So that will happen, and you will gain 2,000 runes for just walking forward. Now once you do this, make sure you grace straight away, as that hand thing will come after you. But basically, for walking forward, you will gain 2,000 runes for that hand crushing the birds. and we can make our way back, and we can gain 2,000 runes each time we go back and forth. So it's not the most effective rune farm, but it's definitely one nonetheless, and it's a pretty decent one if you guys are mid-game. Early game, this is also really good, but the area itself can be located or found later on in your game. So you may need to wait for this farm, but when you do get it, it should be pretty self-explanatory. You're walking straight and back, and you will gain runes each time you do this. So for this, you're first going to need to come toward this grace in the Lingrave area. From there, venture a little bit further out from this spot, and there should be a little lagoon which you will see a teleport thing where you can interact and teleport toward this new area on the map. Now, what you are going to want to do is follow my route with your horse. So simply follow my horse, and as you can see here, we just go straight toward this bridge. We simply go past it, we go all the way down, and eventually we come across this grace which we can then grace, and from there we can head into this farm. Now, this farm is super simple. All you need is a horse, which you should already have if you're playing the game, and with that you're going to want to equip your horse, and from there go down this little slope, and there should be a big ball which should spawn in. At that point, you're going to need to juke the ball so that the ball falls, and from there you will get 2k runes by simply moving straight. Yup, by moving straight. Now, if you're playing early game, I recommend using this, as for your early game there may not be too many good methods for grinding, but this one is definitely one I do recommend for early game players. But you can now grace, go back to this spot, and keep on rinsing and repeating this farm to gain runes for early game players. Now, this method will grant you around 10,000 runes per 5 to 4 minutes, so it's a great method for early game players and for those that are not too yet into their Elden Ring game. Right, so for our last method in the video, first we're going to go through how to get the golden scarab, as this item can make the rune farm a lot more effective. So let's quickly go through how to get this item. We're first going to make our way toward Caelid, and we're going to head toward the abandoned cave. So head toward this specific area on my map. You will see a giant tree log sticking out of this mine area, so it should be pretty easy to spot, but basically head toward the abandoned cave, and we are now going to go down and grace in this grace spot. What I do recommend you do now is grab yourself a dagger, as we're going to need to head toward this Scarlet Rot cave. So we're going to jump down, and we're going to use our quick step ability, which you should have on this dagger. We're going to follow the route I take here. Alright, so once you are down here, you're going to want to follow the path I take right here. So we're going to go all the way here, and from there we should be fine. So there is a lot of Scarlet Rot in this cave, so I do recommend being careful, but if you are cautious you should be able to get through the cave pretty easily. So we're gonna go down here. Do note you can do the thing I said before with the mimic thing, but you should be able to get through this boss pretty easily, and with that you should get the gold scarab. So that's basically how you get the gold scarab. So for the last farm in this video, head your way toward the Mogh dynasty. Now, if you're not already aware on how to get here, I will have a guide down below on how to get toward the Mogh dynasty, and I will also have a guide in the pinned comments, so you can check that out. Get here, and from there you're going to need to grab a longbow of any kind, and you should see a bird right below you near this bloody lake. It should be going back and forth. What we need to do is wait for the bird to get toward where my cursor is right now. So simply wait, and once the bird does get it, it will stop for a second, and right now we're going to use this time to hit the bird. And once you do that, the bird will fall down and you will gain runes for doing this. I gained 26k runes, but I've already New Game Plus, meaning that I will gain 20% more runes. I believe it's 20% more runes than players that have a New Game Plus. But if you have New Game Plus, or if you have New Game Plus Plus, which basically means you have finished the game and restarted it, you will gain more runes each time you do this method. But with that, grab your golden scarab, equip the golden scarab or gold scarab, and with that grab your weapon of choice, and you're going to simply use this weapon. I'm using the sacred relic sword, as this weapon will one tap every single zombie in your area. So as you can see, I just gained 60k runes by pressing one button. But the sword of night flame, I do recommend this for early game players. The sword of night flame sword will help you, but that is the last farm in this video. If you guys have enjoyed this top 5 best glitches farm exploit video, whatever you want to call it, then please do consider smashing the like button, as it does help this video spread to more viewers on the platform. And until next time, take it easy and goodbye.